Hello and welcome to Ambush the Enemy. This will be a game between Lucian and Chosen. I've been trying to mess with the mic a little bit. If people hear any problems, please let me know. Because I keep hearing little vibrations, but I'm not really sure if that's real or imaginary. So Lucian on this map with Cybern might be a little surprising. This game is actually, I believe, before the Immortal Cup games, so perhaps a bit of a practice. But if two great players play on this one, might as well watch it. Chosen going to Seraphim. Seraphim a little more predictable on this map. Second air from Chosen. While Lucian going with Cyber. Maybe here I can try split screen. See the plan for Lucian is second land versus second air. Total pigeons for Lucian is 5 because he is going second land. Total pigeons for Chosen is also 5. Might be a little surprising. And now we see a scout. So first 3 engineers from Chosen. First 3 engineers plus a scout from Lucian. The scout is quite defensive for Lucian, but no raiding from either player. And you can actually see an engineer helping Chosen out. That's a little more build capacity and more power plant as well for Chosen. And while Lucian finishing up his 5th pigeon and a Mantis. The Mantis from Cybern can be both used defensively and offensively. Of course, knowing that you're facing Seraphim, you know that Mantis is going to be outgunned in most fights, but it's really quick. But a Selene plus a tank from Seraphim, switch back to regular view, is always most powerful weapon early on. It gives you advantage over any other combination of scout and tank. And here on the other side it's a Selene versus a Mantis. Might be a first shots. Didn't happen. Third land factory coming in for Lucian. Lucian looks like he's going for a big land spam with AC going to the middle. Chosen meanwhile is interceptors, not a bomber. They were perhaps expecting a bomber from Lucian, but it's not going to come. The Mantis now from Lucian making it all the way across. And that's an exposed engineer. We do see flak. So Chosen really overcompensating for Lucian's bomber here. See first air and flak. Meanwhile in the middle you can see multiple kills for this tank. 2 kills, but the Manti should be able to put an end to its fun. Also expanding engineers top to the Lucian, bottom to Chosen, and looks like it was defense from Chosen ACU, but he kind of put his ACU a bit of out position. You see the position for Lucian's ACU much better, and Chosen did lose an engineer that could have been expanding to the top. Of course in the bottom looks to have been completely left for Chosen. Meanwhile Lucian working on the 4th land factory. 2 engineers power, 2 engineers land factory. Looks like a total of 6 land for Lucian. See a lot of factories for Chosen. Now Chosen now going to bombers, realizing there's absolutely no air from Lucian. Chosen 4 kills. Good cover of the left side with the ACU. But now Manta are going to come in, are going to find this engineer. If this engineer can't finish that point defense, it will die, but looks like it might have a chance. Here comes the bomber from Chosen. Good raider here, a good target. The total air domination by Chosen, killing NGs, and this point defense will actually be finished. Very important from Chosen. Maybe a bit lucky. One thing to note about Lucian's engineers, though, they're always split. They're not in bunches. Takes a bit of an effort, and now Lucian with the Tech 1 anti-air point defense. Killed 1 bomber. The other bomber from Chosen escapes with 2 kills. He's going to do a little recon. Significant force from Chosen here on the bottom side. He uses this point defense as a great place to retreat to, a great place for operations. Chosen using his ACU kind of like an engineer to expand to the top. Lucian completely taking over the middle. He's going to put an anti-air turret in the middle. That's going to make all kinds of flying problems for Chosen. Meanwhile, Lucian really building up his forces on the right side. Bomber. 3 kills. A good micro from Chosen with his bombers taking care of his units. So we can see the number of units actually sitting back at base for Chosen. Surprisingly, he's not moving them out. And he could really use them out in the field here. Of course, this point defense is going to make things quite good. Well, Lucian will just avoid it and keep moving. Meanwhile, Lucian is going to do some raiding. Looks like all the work that Chosen's ACU is doing is going to be negated by a couple manti. Chosen finally going to move out his large force from his base. Artillery moving in from Lucian, so a big mission for Chosen to kill that artillery, not allow it to kill a point defense will be a big loss. Bombers coming in from Chosen. And I really can't agree with Chosen in the way he's using his ACU. He really could use an engineer and a couple tanks. Could do a much better job than that single ACU. Instead he could have put pressure on Lucian in the middle. Lucian total domination in the middle. Also Tech 2 mass extractors. He's going for a second one. So Lucian a little bit of tech. He's got an air factory making bombers. And now a total of 6th land factory coming in. See 8th factory for Chosen. Chosen also being very defensive at point defense. It's very surprising. There's no chance for Lucian to attack through here. Not where the ACU is in his massive force. But Chosen doing that as well. Very defensive. Point defenses at the choke points. Point defense from Chosen was a really good one, but giving up did create some problems. Of course now Lucian is going to try to get both the hydras in the middle. It's going to be a huge power advantage. A bit of an air fight, but looks like Chosen is going to win it. Chosen does have an opportunity to push through the top. I'm not sure if he's going to do that. Lucian is going to respond. He's going to build up a force, so there's no sneaky situations going into his base. Of course, this map we won't see anymore in the Immortals Trophy. But I actually think it's a really good one. Hopefully people start playing it a little more. Be good for 2v2s. Multiple bombers coming in from Lucian. Great attack. And Lucian actually going on an attack here. 10 kills for Chosen. Surprisingly 10 kills. Has been way out of position. Meanwhile Lucian's still sitting in the middle getting upgrades. And if that's Tech 2, if he gets Tech 2 point defense in the middle, it's going to be huge. See Lucian avoiding the main force from Chosen, doing damage to mass extractors. Meanwhile Chosen probably should go and attack of his own. He's got ACU, a bunch of tanks. Not much happening on the bottom. Tech 2 gunships from Chosen. Did not see that. So Tech 2 for Chosen with the gunships. And bombers from Lucian. Really harassing this force, but this force is still big enough to create all kinds of problems. But it looks like Chosen completely gave up the top side. Now we are seeing Chosen on an assault. I think he thought he might have Lucian here in a sandwich, and it actually looks quite nice. Plus gunships. Lucian in a full retreat. Lucian does have the gun, 18 kills. And Chosen just completely took over the middle, although he did expose himself on the back side, and this is the reason for his point defenses and walls. There is one artillery from Lucian. See if he has the presence of mind to actually use that. He is in danger of dying. He continues to retreat. And well, is he actually just going to die here? Oh wow. Lucian 34 kills, still getting hit by gunships. And Flak, Lucian 300 health. Chosen chasing him, but of course Lucian can outrange him. And this Tech to Flak heroes, saving Lucian's ACU, 34 kills, 500 health. I didn't think this game would be. It looks like Lucian, if Lucian would have at the same time as saving his ACU killed this point defense, that would have been just too much. But no, this point defense did a good job. Killed 7 troops from Lucian, and Lucian survives. Chosen finding himself in Lucian's base with 1,000 health, retreating, but a massive push from Chosen, running over the middle. Now he's reclaiming. Lucian is back, kind of bunched up at his base. Once again, Lucian finds himself under fire, and bombers, and veterancy, 40 kills. That's just too much. So Chosen wasn't done with him now. Yeah, so hell no. Lucian does not die. 45 kills. At the same time, we see here Chosen doesn't really have map control, but he's about to have a huge reclaim. And now air coming in from Lucian. Looks like he's going to have air control now. But 2 times Lucian cheated death. I saw him go under 100 there in that last situation. is both Tech 1 bombers and gunships. Meanwhile, Chosen is not going to retreat. 39 kills. Perhaps hold down the bottom. The top has been, for the most part, given up. But the middle is no man's land, but engineers from Chosen getting all that mass. See if Chosen can use that. One thing to note, though, multiple Tech 2 mass extractors from Lucian. He does have a Tech 2 factory, although it was under a bit of assault, but doesn't look like it's in too much danger anymore. Chosen could be in danger, however. 40 kills, 3,000 health. Retreating, not too much support. He does have a little bit. Not a big enough force to cause any kind of damage. It looks like Lucian moving out a whole bunch of NGs. He's going to try to secure the top. Some tanks coming in. These tanks can kill these engineers. They stop just short. And a point defense from Lucian. So we can see how this map will be divided. It looks like this is all going to belong to Chosen, except that he's not taking this mass extractor, which is a bit disappointing. So really good action. Now Chosen, after that great assault, doesn't look like he has a plan for after. He has a bit in shambles now. He's once again given up the middle. Pretty significant force from Lucian. And don't know if Chosen actually has Tech 2 land. And with Tech 2 land, Lucian might make a huge push. He is going with a Tech 2 point defense creep. That's a nice Tech 2 point defense. It's going to end any kind of fun. Also hoplites. And now this is all Lucian territory now. Then he's got Tech 2 force ready to move out. And he's got air control. So Lucian, after playing survival, is now poised to take back the map. Yeah, total domination on top. The middle is going to be very important, but it's Tech 2 versus Tech 1. With the Chosen's units just sort of running in blind. With the hoplites now. Just going to use range, not even going to get hit. Also hoplites on the bottom. Not really sure what the plan is for Chosen. He's just producing Tech 1 land. And that's becoming less and less effective. We are seeing a bunch of Tech 1 bombers, Tech 2 bombers. They actually took out a Tech 2 mass extractor. That's pretty nice, but flying over Tech 2 flak is usually not a very cost effective mode of operation. TMD from Lucian. Chosen meanwhile retreating, 43 kills, and an assault coming in from Lucian. On the left side, mostly Tech 1. There is a Tech 2 flak there. Multiple Tech 2 flaks. I do not see any artillery. No, there is single archery. This point defense, which I criticized early on, turned out to be quite good for Chosen. Meanwhile, in the middle, Lucian maybe not realizing just how good this position is, but really the time for Chosen in the middle is not going to last for too long. This is a huge force now. Lucian dominating. He's going to move in, kill these engineers. He's going to have engineers of his own move in, build Tech 2 point defense. So you can see Lucian a little more defensive than he needs to be. A lot of TMD and Tech 2 point defenses that are a little too far back. Lucian now retreats. Nobody really has the top. Two small Tech 1 forces. Once again, Chosen moving in a little disorganized with his Tech 1. And now he's facing his larger and larger Tech 2 force that does have stealth. And it looks like Lucian is going to take the bottom. At the same time, we do have a fight on the top. It is going to go down to micro. And as long as Chosen doesn't shoot that Tech 2 flak, he should be in a good position. So it looks like as Lucian took the bottom, Chosen took the opportunity to move into the middle. Once again, he needs to kill that engineer. Chosen getting an upgrade. He's actually in a position to die here if Lucian just moves and kills. And he is moving. So Chosen is going to have to cancel and run. And it's going to take a little bit of dodging. He needs to dodge those rockets. And he's got a Tech 1 point defense to retreat to. He needs veterancy quick or he's going to die. And Lucian, I mean, he cheated death twice and Chosen didn't get to cheat. So a really fun game. Thank you for sending this to me, and I hope people enjoyed this.